If you are over 50 and facing a divorce, here is the number that should get your attention. The retirement you spent 30 years building now has to stretch across 2 households instead of 1. Divorce after 50, often called gray divorce, has climbed dramatically in recent decades, and the financial damage is not shared evenly. Research consistently shows household wealth drops sharply after a late life split, and women often see a steeper fall in standard of living because of career gaps and lower lifetime earnings. Here is the good news. Most of the damage does not come from the divorce itself. It comes from a handful of specific, avoidable mistakes people make while the paperwork is still moving. Today, I am walking you through all 10 and what to do instead. One quick note first. I am not an attorney, accountant, or financial advisor, and none of this is personal advice. Rules differ by state and country. Treat this as a checklist to bring to the professionals you hire. Mistake 1. Believing half of everything means fair. On paper, a 50-50 split looks like justice. In reality, 2 accounts of equal value can be worth wildly different amounts to you. $100,000 in a traditional pre-tax account is not $100,000. Every dollar you withdraw gets taxed as ordinary income. $100,000 in a Roth is closer to real money. $100,000 in home equity is not money at all until you sell. And selling costs you. Before you agree to anything, ask for the after-tax, after-cost value of each asset. Fair means equal buying power, not equal spreadsheet numbers. Mistake 2. Fighting to keep the house. The house carries memories, and that pull is real. But a house is also property tax, insurance, maintenance, utilities, and a roof that will need replacing. People trade away an entire share of a retirement account to keep a home they cannot afford alone. 2 years later, they sell anyway, having burned the assets meant to fund their 70s. Run the honest number. Add up the full annual cost of that home and compare it to your realistic solo income. If it eats more than a third of it, the house is a liability wearing a sentimental disguise. Mistake 3. Skipping the QDRO. This one quietly destroys retirements. In the United States, splitting most employer-sponsored plans, like a 401k or a pension, requires a separate court order called a qualified domestic relations order. Your divorce decree alone does not move that money. The plan administrator will not act without the QDRO, correctly drafted and approved. People sign the papers, feel relief, and let this step slide. Years pass, the former spouse retires or dies, and the money is entangled or gone. Confirm in writing that the order has been filed, approved, and executed. Mistake 4. Not knowing your Social Security rights. In the U.S., if your marriage lasted at least 10 years, you may be able to claim a benefit based on your ex-spouse's earnings record, if it is higher than your own. 2 things people get wrong here. First, claiming on your ex's record does not reduce their benefit by a single dollar, and they are not notified. Second, if you were close to that 10-year line when you separated, the timing of your final decree can matter enormously. Create an account with a Social Security Administration and check your actual estimated benefit. Do not guess. Mistake 5. Ignoring pension survivor benefits. Pensions are more complicated than account balances because they involve a lifetime income stream and a survivor election. If your ex has a pension and you are entitled to a share, the settlement should address what happens if they die first. Without a survivor benefit provision, your income can stop the day they do. Ask specifically, what happens to my portion if my former spouse dies before me? Get the answer in the decree, not in conversation. Mistake 6. Forgetting the health insurance gap. If you are 55 and covered by your spouse's employer plan, Medicare is a decade away. That gap is one of the largest hidden costs in late life divorce. Options usually include COBRA continuation for a limited window, a marketplace plan, or coverage through your own job. Premiums at this age can run hundreds of dollars a month before you touch a deductible. Price this out before you sign and treat it as a real line item in negotiations, not an afterthought. Mistake 7. Leaving old beneficiary designations in place. Here is a detail that stuns people. Retirement accounts and life insurance policies pass by beneficiary designation, and that designation usually overrides your will. If your ex-spouse is still named on your 401k, that form may control, regardless of what your updated will says or what the divorce decree intended. After the divorce is final, go through every account: retirement plans, IRAs, life insurance, annuities, payable on death bank accounts. Update your will, powers of attorney, healthcare directives, and any trusts. Set a reminder to verify it all, again, in 6 months. Mistake 8, letting anger set the legal budget. Litigation is expensive. Contested divorces can consume tens of thousands of dollars meant to be retirement income. Every month of conflict has a price tag, and both of you pay it. Winning an argument about furniture is not a financial strategy. Ask yourself before each fight, what does this cost to pursue, and what is it actually worth? Mediation or collaborative divorce is not right for every situation, particularly where there is abuse, hidden assets, or a serious power imbalance. But where it fits, it can preserve real money. Mistake 9, failing to inventory everything. You cannot divide what you do not know exists. Long marriages accumulate forgotten assets: old employer plans from jobs held decades ago, small pensions, stock options, deferred compensation, HSAs, savings bonds, business interests. Debt counts too. Joint credit cards, mortgages, and lines of credit can follow you long after the decree if they are not closed or refinanced. A creditor does not care what your divorce judgment says. Pull your own credit report. Gather several years of tax returns and every statement you can find. Build one list before you negotiate. Mistake 10, never rebuilding the plan. The final mistake is treating the divorce as the finish line. It is the starting line for a completely different retirement. Your household income changed, your expenses changed, your timeline may have changed. A plan built for 2 people no longer applies to 1. Rebuild it from scratch. A realistic solo budget. A new savings rate, even if retirement is close. A revised claiming strategy for Social Security. A serious look at long-term care, because the spouse who would have provided informal care is no longer there. And an updated estate plan that reflects the life you actually have now. 10 mistakes, every one avoidable with information and a little discipline at the right moment. If this was useful, do 3 things for me. Hit subscribe and turn on the bell, because I publish practical retirement and money guidance every week, and I would like you to catch the next one. Drop a comment telling me which mistake surprised you most, or which one you have already faced, because your experience helps someone else reading these comments at midnight. Share this with one person who needs it. Someone in your life is going through this quietly right now and does not know where to start. 10 minutes of your time might protect decades of their savings. Then take the first concrete step. Pull one statement, check one beneficiary form, book one consultation. Not someday, this week. Any one of these can cost you years of income. Next video, the family home, keep it or sell it, and the one number you must run first.